Well, good morning. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Today we are going to do the technical training for Works Manager. For those of you who haven't had a chance to see yet, Works Manager is a brand new product, kind of a revolutionary way to send design information to and from the field. And we have on the line today Product Manager Brian Sweeney from our Westminster, Colorado office. We also have Lisa Craig, our Product Marketing Specialist, and I'm Dwayne Gleason, the Program Manager for Connected Construction. This is the second part of the webinar for the sales training. We had one last week where we were looking at it a little bit more high level. Today we're going to get in a little bit deeper. Brian's going to give you a demonstration of the product and really get into the nitty-gritty. As usual, we want this to be an interactive session. So if you have any questions, please do answer them in. We're gonna go for a majority of the session, but then make sure and stop short and leave enough time to discuss all the questions. So go ahead and enter them into the Q&A panel. Please do your best to use the Q&A panel, not necessarily the chat panel. And then in that way, at the end, we can round them all up and make sure that the responses get posted somewhere as part of the FAQs. So with that, Brian, we can see your screen. We got a good group gathered here today, and I'd say go ahead and take it away.
Great, thanks, Dwayne. So as Dwayne mentioned, we're going to go over a quick review of the software, and then
can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Brian, you are a bit soft.
Audio issues there.
You on mute?
Test.
There we go.
There you go.
There he is. Apologize.
There he is.
Sounds good.
All right. As I mentioned, we're going to go over a quick review. And sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback.
I'll put myself.
Okay, perfect. All right, we're all set now. We're going to review the software. All right. So this is a new product. It was released on September 19th, and this is the data hub that's going to be connecting all of our civil contractors to the critical information they need to get the job done right the first time. What the product is doing is connecting the office to the field, so you can send designs to machines, you can remote into machines, you can get base station corrections, you can understand what your machines are doing out in the field and your devices. So to start out, I'm going to play a quick video that we've released. It really captures the essence of the type of customer that we're targeting and that this product should be used for. And with that, this is a public video that's available on YouTube.
This is Dave. Dave is a busy guy. As a site manager for large construction projects, Dave has to maximize every second of his day. Unfortunately, Dave spends most of his time driving from job site to job site. As you can imagine, that can get old pretty quick. If only he could spend as much time managing as he does commuting. Trimble Works Manager is the data hub that allows Dave to connect with everyone from managers to operators on any device, wherever they are, from one location, bringing civil contractors the critical information they need in an instant. With Audit Trail, Dave knows exactly who did what, when, and where, every step of the way. And if something's not right, he can take care of it without leaving his desk. Works Manager by Trimble simplifies the management process and helps Dave finish the job on time and on budget, so he can focus on what's really important. Adopting Works Manager is easy. Contact your SciTech dealer today.
Great. So the marketing department's done a great job with that video, and close these here. And it really captures the essence of who this is targeted for. Met a lot of Daves over the last year as we've been putting this product together. So first I'm going to go ahead and cover a quick review. Some of the stuff is repeats from last week, so be patient as we get into the demo. And before we start, we're just going to ask a couple quick questions here. So we're interested in how many people were part of the training that happened last week. All right, it looks like we've got a good mix here of about half and half. So we've got some newbies. And then we're going to go ahead and ask one more quick question. Get this off the screen. And then the next one, we're interested to find out how many people are Trimble customers versus Trimble partner dealers and Trimble employees. Great. All right, so we've got a good mix here of customers, partners, employees on the call. So with that, I want to talk about some of the pain points that this product solves. So obviously, driving between the office and the field to load a design onto your machine with a USB stick definitely is not an efficient way to get these designs spread, especially if you have 5, 6, 7 machines on a project that need designs. It can be an all-day activity to get those loaded. So that's one of the things that we want to help and make it more efficient to get data to and from the machines. Also keeping track of where your assets are. The service provides location updates every 30 seconds on many of our devices. So you're able to know exactly where those machines are, where they're working, and what designs they're running with this new service. And this helps reduce costly mistakes when people are running the wrong design on a project. And we've been involved with a number of cases where that's happened. One thing that we had in our older product that offered this similar feature is there was never the feedback knowing that the design that was sent to the machine was actually being loaded and used on the machine. So one of the new features with Works Manager is that we're giving everybody the feedback knowing exactly which designs are being run on which machines. And then obviously being able to help an operator who needs some help or is having trouble navigating the screen or is not sure what's going on with the machine. Being able to remote in and help that operator is also key, one of the key pain points that we're trying to solve. When it comes to features and benefits, obviously the seamless data transfer between the office and the field, getting designs to the machine, getting data back off is an important benefit. We also want to be able to see what your team is doing. So tracking the location and knowing where they're at, where they're working is very important. Also being able to see the latest design on every machine. As I mentioned before, these excuse me, location updates come in every 30 seconds with status updates that come in every 5 minutes that tell us what design the machine is running. Remoting in and also streaming base station corrections is a key feature of this product as well. And we've joined the Works family, which means that we're integrating much better with some of the hardware devices than we ever have in the past. So you're seeing a lot of work, collaboration work between the hardware teams and the software teams to make this a seamless product, seamless solution. When it comes to choosing Works Manager, obviously the time and money that you can save by not having to drive around is one of the key savings points. It's a smart, intuitive software. You're going to see it's much more easier to understand than previous products that we had doing the same type of thing. It's location-based workflows, it's project-based, it's very similar to how you guys are running your business. So we've taken a lot of time to make it very smart, very intuitive, very easy to use. And then it's going to give everyone the confidence that they know exactly what their machines are doing. So if you ever sent a design out to a machine or asked somebody to go load some designs on a machine, this product is going to give you the immediate feedback that you need, knowing that that design made it to the machine and is actually being used. Now I'm going to jump into some slides around how it works. And this is Still a lot of repeat from last week, but I think it's important. This will all roll into the demo that I'm going to give in a few minutes. When it comes to getting Works Manager up and running, you want to create a project and give a project a geofence. That geofence is going to help us initiate location-based workflows. You'll create designs using an authoring tool, get those designs saved locally to your hard drive, and then you'll publish those designs into Works Manager. From there, you can add devices, manage and monitor your project, make sure that devices are running the correct design, and then remote in and support as needed. So project creation is a simple 3-step workflow. You'll go ahead and select your account. Most customers will just have one account, but dealers and or Trimble people may have multiple accounts. So you'll select the account and give the project a name. Then you'll create a boundary around your project and upload your configuration files. These configuration files consist of the calibration, geoid, control points, avoidance zones, and feature code libraries that we have on the machines. So you'll upload those files, and then you'll need to get some designs. And most of our customers are using Trimble Business Center to create these designs. However your designs get created, that workflow remains the same. Once you get those designs written out to your local drive, you'll then go to step 3 and publish those designs into Works Manager. With Works Manager, there's 2 types of designs that we support today. One is the machine control design, and the other is the data collector design. When you're creating one of these designs, depending on which one you've selected, you'll have different options to upload different file types. So we let you know which file types we support. So in this example, we're showing a machine control design. We support uploading XML surfaces, VCLs, DSCs, and SVDs. These are just different file format extensions for the surfaces. And same thing down on the line work side. So you get your designs uploaded, and then you can publish this design to the project. During the course of the project, you may have a change on the design or may need to make some revisions. You can go ahead and edit that design at any time. What this will do is make a revision to the design. So you can see in this example, I've got 3 revisions, and I've got the complete audit history of what happened when. So I could go back in time, and if I needed to figure out what was in design 1, I can select design 1, download it, check to see whatever I'm investigating, and then if there's an issue or something that needs to get changed, you can go ahead and edit that version 3, and then it would become version 4. So everything is event-based driven. Think of it as a timeline. We're not syncing and doing a whole bunch of edits and revisions in that sense. Everything is event-based driven, and it's on a timeline that we keep a complete record of what happened when and who did what when. As we get into step 4 consists of adding devices to your account. Basically, there's 2 things that you have to remember here. There's the concept of adding a brand new device that your company has just purchased to your account, and then there's the concept of adding that device to a project. So this is a screenshot of how somebody would go about and add a device to their account, and this is very similar to the TCC workflow that we offer today. So you add the device, and then you can add the device to a project. And there's 2 ways to add a device to a project. What I'm showing here is the manual way, where you can select the devices that are going to be on the project and add them. There's also an automatic way of just having the device turn on inside a project boundary. When that happens, the device automatically gets added to the project, and that then triggers the designs get written and are made available for that device to go sync and grab. So really cool feature. We've rolled it out on all of our assets that report their location. So Earthworks, Siteworks, and some GCS devices, if you've got mapping turned on for those devices, will know where the location is. So something to be aware of. And if you're wondering why assets start magically appearing in your project, it is because they're reporting inside the boundary. This one here is just showing the different devices that we support. So on the machine control side, we're supporting the Earthworks and GCS 900 devices. And on the data collector side, we're supporting Siteworks and SCS 900. We are in the process of adding the Groundworks device and other devices that have been requested. So the goal is for this to be the place where all your devices get managed. We're just working up and adding devices as we can. When it comes to managing and monitoring your project, this is where once the device is on the project and has been running a design from the project, you'll be able to see that that asset should be green. If the asset is yellow, probably means that the person on the machine or on the device is running an what we'll consider kind of an outdated design or an unknown design. It may be an infield design that they're running that we're not aware of, or it may be an older version of a design. So be aware of that. The idea here is that your assets go green, everything is good. If there's an asset that's yellow, you can investigate it and figure out which design it's running, why is it running a design in that location, and then resolve it from there. So really good to have this up, really good to be paying attention to it on all your projects. The idea that somebody can jump in and quickly browse through and just double check the status of all their projects, make sure all their assets are green, and go from there. When it comes to remote support, many of the features and functionalities are just lifted and shifted from the TCC workflow. We haven't made any enhancements yet on the remote assistance side, but some of that is in the works. Right now, you can remote in and work in the Tech Web UI on the Earthworks devices, and then we do support our legacy Firefox workflow that lets you remote into the older GCS and SCS 900 devices. So this has been well documented and is available as it was in TCC. When it comes to the supported field software devices, we support Earthworks version 1.7 and higher. That comes with the location updates and status updates that are needed for Works Manager. And on SiteWorks, it's version 1.03. Most people are have upgraded on all of these versions by now. They've been out for about a year now. And on the GCS side, I kind of mentioned earlier that you can show those GCS devices on a map if you turn on the office to field mapping service that VisionLink leverages. It does not require a subscription to do that, but it does require internet connection for that device to show up on the map. So something to be aware of, that you can get these older GCS 900 devices on the map. They are updating about every 15 minutes, not every 30 seconds. So just keep that in mind. And on the older SCS 900 devices, you can send and receive data to them, but they're not providing any status or location updates. And with that, we're going to jump into the software demo. So I'm going to go to, pick up my mouse here. I'm going to go to worksmanager.com. I'm just going to talk through what we have on the website today. When you hit the home page, if you need to flip any files, we've added a file flipper application here that will convert machine controlled designs into the file formats and folder structures that are needed to be run on the machine. So you've got the, you can go from an Earthworks file format to a GCS 900 file format or vice versa. And we've also got a return on investment calculator that allows people to go in and change their device counts and just see how much potential savings they can see with Works Manager. And it will run a calculation and also give you an estimate of what we think it's going to cost to manually transfer designs over the course of the year. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So the sign in uses the Trimble ID service. So most people who have Trimble web products probably have a Trimble ID. They're free to create. And then this will drop you into a projects page. And we got a couple ways to view your projects. We've got the card view, we've got a list view, and we've also got a map view. And we're we're working on improving the speed of the map view. I've been invited to hundreds of projects, so it's taking a little while to load this, so I'm not gonna go into the projects on the map view, but it is nice. It will show you all the projects in your area that you are involved with, and we'll zoom you right into that so you can access projects kind of by location rather than in the list view. So from here, what I'm gonna do is create a project. I'm gonna go through the whole workflow. Part of this is selecting the account. So I'm gonna go ahead and work in my Trimble Works Manager account. And I'm gonna give this a project name. So we're gonna call this, let's try this, customer training 1. The next screen it's going to take you to here is the map view. And let's see here. Seems to be a little slow here this morning. Let me find out. Let me try to refresh this. Try this again. Sorry about that. So you can enter the address. And access your project this way. This is just going to zoom you into the property. You can type in cities and get close to where you need to be, or just zoom in. I'm going to go ahead and draw a boundary around my project. So this is the Trimble Westminster building here. And we'll go ahead and close the boundary and accept it. So this creates the boundary, and now it's time to upload your calibration files, or excuse me, your configuration files. So let me do that real quick. I've got a set here. So here's my DC file. So that's the calibration. I don't have a geoid on this project. I've got some control points. These are all files that have been exported from Business Center. And let's do the feature code and the site XML. So now that I've got these all uploaded, and I really encourage everybody to upload these at the beginning of the project. Every time you make changes to these, designs get reversioned. So it's much easier to make sure that these are the correct files at the beginning of the project when you start. Then you don't have to touch these, and you'll have the confidence that each of your machines will get the correct calibration, and nobody's going to be emailing or screwing up the calibration over the course of the project. So we'll finish the setup, and this is going to dump me into my project map view. Okay, so now I'm here. I don't have any devices, and I don't have any designs in this project. So you can kind of go through the workflow here by just going down the navigation panel here, or you can add some of the members' devices designs through this page as well. So there's a couple different ways to go about it. I'm going to go ahead and access the design page, and we're going to see that there aren't any designs here. And I'm going to go ahead and create a design. So the design I'm going to create, we'll call it subgrade on the parking lot. And I'll go ahead and upload my design. So now I'm just looking at my machine control design. So I've got SVDs and SVLs and DSZs in here. So I'll go ahead and open one of these DSZ formats. This is the new Earthworks file format. And you can see that we've separated it out into the design and the line work. So we'll go ahead and take care of the converting. All you have to worry about is getting the design in, and we'll make sure it gets converted and off to the right machines. So from there, I can publish this. It's also going to make a note that the calibration, and there isn't a geoid, but the project setting files are going to be associated with this design. So this is going to publish the design to the project boundary, and now any device that's in the project will have access to this design. I'm also going to add another design for the data collectors. and called it subgrade, and have the same design name for the machine control designs and the data collector designs. That was an enhancement that we had a request on while we were in the demo process. So I'm going to go ahead and upload a surface and some line work for this data collector design. I don't have any stakeout points or corridor files for this, and here are all the project setting files that are going to come as well. So we'll publish this. And now I'll have machine control design and data collector design on my project. Let's go back and take a look at the map and see what's going on here. So we already are seeing a device in this project, and we happen to have a bench earthworks device that's running here in the office that always shows up on these projects because it's reporting its location and it's inside the boundary. So this device has automatically been added and we'll have access to that design I just published. The idea there is that devices can be moved around from project to project as long as you have the project set up in Works Manager and those geofences are large enough. When that device gets delivered to the job site and turned on, it will report its location and then get the designs it needs to get to work. Prevents some really early morning phone calls saying, hey, you know, it's 5 a.m. and where's my design? So with that, we're going to go ahead and add a do a demo with a SiteWorks emulator. The SiteWorks emulator is the best kind of way to kind of show and tell some of the features because I'm able to emulate my position and move around on the job site. You'll be able to see the devices move. So I'm going to open up SiteWorks. And this is just the act of me turning the SiteWorks device on. So I'd been working in another demo that I was doing back in October 1st. So let me just get this loaded up and we'll go ahead and do a sync. It's going to make me set this up again. So you can run this in an emulator mode, which is really nice. This needs to be a rover, excuse me. Okay. So now it should be happy. And what I'll be able to do now is emulate my position on the map. This is just saying I should check in. I'm going to skip that step. So now I can show myself on the map. If we waited a few minutes, this device would show up here as well. But in the sake of time, I am just going to go ahead and add the device manually. To do that, I'll select add, and the device I'm working on is this Sweeney SiteWorks, so I could select multiple ones. You do have to select these for the GCS and SCS 900 devices. Often you have to manually add them. So there, the device has been added. So now the designs are available for me to go get. And what I can do now is I can do a sync. So we'll go, excuse me, we'll do a sync under data management, connected community. And this is going to be talking to the cloud, and it's going to find out if there's any new projects I need to get to or need access to. This is pulling up the last project that I was on. And in this list, I should see a list of my projects. So we can select that, and we were customer training 1. So that project's available in the cloud. The designs are available, and now I'm going to go sync it down. And this will bring down the design that I just published. So I'll hit accept, and it'll go through the sync process. As we wait for that to sync, let's take a look at the map. I should see my location. There it is. Okay. All right. And my design's been loaded and it's showing that I'm green. I'm running the correct design. And you'll see the asset move around a little bit. Go ahead and move myself over in the corner. This is a somewhat of a 3D viewer. We don't have the 3D terrain tiles turned on yet. So right now it's pretty much just a flat surface, but it will let you look at the view in somewhat of an isometric fashion. So you can see that that location message just came in. It took about 30 seconds, and now the asset's moving to the new location. So these assets will move around on the screen, and so you can leave it up and stay updated. From here, you can select the asset. So in this example, this Earthworks machine is showing us running the wrong design or a design that's unknown to the project. I can remote in from here. So if I wanted to remote in and find out what's going on with this machine, I could do so. This is just launching our existing remote service. As this is downloading the app that's running on the machine, it'll prompt you to enter a username and password for the machine. So you do have to know that to get access to it. So I'll enter that, and this will then dump me into the Tech Web UI. And from here, this is where I could do some troubleshooting. I could look around, make sure the machine's set up correctly. A lot of times I'll go under this operations file management and check to see what files are on the machine. This is a good way to look at the projects, so I can see the projects and all the different projects that are on the machine. If we're looking for the customer demo one, it's not here yet. And so what's probably happened is this is on a 15-minute auto sync, and it hasn't been 15 minutes. We'll come back and maybe look at this later, but eventually that project that we just added would be available here, and we could then look and see you know, which designs are available. So in this example, this is the current design that's been loaded, is this CSU way. So very easy to navigate, very easy to see if your machine's online, showing that it reported a few seconds ago. It's letting you know what design it is. It's showing you where it's at. So all of this stuff is new to this connected site workflow that we have today. With that, let's say we had a design change, and we're going to go make that update. So I need to select the design that I want to change. So it'll be this Earthworks, excuse me, the SiteWorks design. I'll go ahead and click edit. I've got the design name here. I can't change this. It is going to get version to version 2, and I can't make any changes here either. So the only thing I can do is upload a surface. So I'll pick a new surface for this in the new line work. One thing that you can do as well is you can drag and drop these, so just be aware of that, and you can select multiple files and drop them in as well. So I'm going to make an update to the design, and then we're going to go see what happens on the map view when that design gets updated. So now I'm on version 2 for this design, and I can see version 1, and if I had to go back and make figure out what was going on in version 1, I can select that design and download it. When you download the design, we're going to pack up all the things related to that design in the correct file folder structure. So you can use this workflow to get designs into the right file folder structure and put them on a USB and walk them out to a device. So in this example here, this all gets nested under the synchronizer data folder. And if you're under the SCS 900 data, there's the project. And there's the design plus all of the project's configuration files have been written out in the right file folder structure. So you could load this on with a USB stick to the device or to the machine. So just be aware of that. If we're back on the map view, that device is now showing a warning. So if I select it, it's saying that they're running, you know, the person's running subgrade parking lot version 1 and the project's up to version 2 now. So this would give you an indication that this person needs to update their design or change their design. And to do that, you know, they would run through the workflow again under data management and do the sync. We'll let this this go, and I'll talk about a few more things that are available in the site. When it comes to managing your project settings, you can make changes to these. I don't expect a lot of changes to be made after the project setup. So you can change the project title if you need to. This is just showing your time zone. We're calculating the time zone based off the centroid of the project, and we'll set it automatically. So that's what all the time is based off of in the application. Then you can edit and download these configuration files. So if somebody needs the cal file on this project, you can just log into the project and download it, and it's going to get downloaded based off of what you put up there. So this test project DC file was the cal, and this makes it easy to make sure that you can share this around if you have to. And then other updates can be made if you have to edit the avoidance zone. You can make a change. Now, editing any of these is going to version the design, because we have to have the confidence that we know that when an edit was made to one of these configuration files, that it got to the field. And the way that we do that today is by making sure that the design, everybody's using the correct version of the design. So any change to a configuration file is going to version the design. And all that means is the person out in the field needs to resync and get on the current design. So that's the setup on the project side. Let me go and we'll do a sync here. And the next thing I want to kind of jump over to and talk about is the account settings. So most people will spend their time in the projects, but when you get a new device or you need to add some new people to your account, you'll want to do that under the account pages. So when I go into the account pages, I've got a list of accounts that I have access to. And for Trimble Works Manager, these are all the devices that this company owns. You can see that there's some caution icons. I'll talk about those in a second. But I have access to all of these devices from here, and I know what's going on with them. I know it reported a few seconds ago. I can remote in from here. So this is also a good way to, you know, if somebody calls up and says, I've got a problem, and you don't know which project they're on or whatever, you could go into this page and find the device. We're also in the process of releasing a map feature where you'll be able to see all your devices and all your projects from the account page, and that gets released this weekend. So we saw a demo of it. It looks really great. And that would be a place where you can just go and see where your projects are, where your devices are, and it makes it easy if a device is not on a project, say it's at the dealership getting worked on, or maybe it's at somebody's house doing some weekend work, you could see where it's at. We've got the status message here. The status message has a lot of great information for troubleshooting, maybe what's going on with a device. Things like the version, what type of asset it is, the design, the nickname, all the devices that are attached to it, their firmware, their serial numbers are all part of this. So this is going to be a way for us to, in the future, help organize where all your stuff is and which devices have which firmware or which components attached to it and what their firmware is, and help us identify if there's issues with firmware or if your firmware is out of date and things like that. So just be aware that there's a whole bunch of information that's coming into the system now on a regular basis that's going to help us understand what's going on with that device and help both dealers and customers better support themselves by knowing where all my stuff is out in the field, which components are attached to which systems, and things like that. You can make edits to a device. So, and the other thing, this works really great on mobile devices. It's nice to be able to make a password change on your phone. So you can make all these changes just using your mobile device. These items that have kind of a caution icon, what's going on with these is there's an issue with the device and it hasn't been fully set up and or authenticated with the system. And one thing that we require is that when a new device gets claimed by a company, that somebody has to go in and physically touch that device and enter the password on the device and then have that device sync back to the system. Once that's done, what you've done is you've proven that you own the device and you've proven that you have access to your account. And when that happens, we'll add the device to your account. And that's why you're seeing this caution icon. If you look at the little warning message, it's saying that you need to go on your device and sync it with TCC with your credentials. So if you see this awaiting first report, it just means that you haven't synced with the connected community cloud yet. So just be aware of that. And you can also see this caution icon if you've migrated devices from our old system, TCC, into the new system. They don't come over with a device name and the device has to get named. So a couple things that will cause a caution icon, just pay attention to whatever the message is, and that should help you troubleshoot why the device hasn't been claimed and made available for your account. We also give people access to the base station service. Let me go into a different account that has some that are turned on. So these are all offline, which may be a problem if it's not a demo. Sorry, we're looking for the IBSS one here. So this IBSS service will show org has a whole bunch of base stations that we have on the roof of our building here. So you can see the status and you can see which ones are connected. There's usually some connected here, so I could look at the connected devices and see how long they've been connected, which devices are connected. So we've taken that IBSS feature and functionality from the old product and moved it over into the new product. So with that, you can manage users as well from your company. So this is where you would go and add users, as well as you can see all your projects. We don't have any projects in this account, but let me go back and we'll load the projects on your Works Manager account, and you can see which projects you have access to. And looks like we're kind of coming up towards the end of the demo here. So, here's a list of all the projects, and the ones with hyperlinks are the ones I have access to. And then if I don't have access to a project, it's going to tell me that I'm not a member. We're working on some features and functionality that lets us manage the roles and invite ourselves to projects if we're admins on the account, things like that. So we're improving this, but this will show you how to navigate and get back to projects. Again, this has a warning here, but I'll go ahead and load the new design and we'll watch that asset go green and open it up for any questions that have come in.
That sounds good, Brian. We'll stand by for a second and just remind everyone, if you do have any questions, go ahead and answer them into the Q&A panel while we watch this load up.
So when you do make a change on the site works, you have to change the project, which will then let you select the new design. So this is that second version 2 design that I put up there. And this would be then available for everybody. And so now I'm on the new design. We'll let this come in. It'll take anywhere between 0 to 5 minutes for this to update, depending on when we hit the cycle. But the asset should turn green, and we'll see it down at the bottom of the screen here. So do we have any questions that have come in? Or?
We do, Brian. We have a couple questions here. I'm not certain that they're all going to fall right in your wheelhouse, but I'll put them out there. And if not, then maybe we just have to answer in some follow-ups. So one of them is from Silvana. What is the recommended range on IBSS to have good accuracy?
Yeah, so we advertise you don't want to go over about 30 kilometers, 20 miles-ish. The idea that we have, and we haven't implemented this yet, but we're going to show where the base station is on the map and then show the rings of accuracy around that, so you could see which projects kind of fall in that IBSS range, and let that help people understand, what the coverage is on the IBSS services and what, that radius looks like.
Okay, cool. Well, you impressed me with that knowledge. So here's another one in that vein, and see if you know it. Can IBSS send corrections in CMX with GPS GLONASS and Galileo, not just GPS GLONASS?
Ooh, that one is going to have to go to Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch that one, but we can get that answer for you.
Okay. So
but I would imagine it supports quite a few options. We'll just have to find out which one, if that combination is supported.
Okay. So Miguel, we'll follow up with you on that one. Jeff Tate does have a question directly applicable to Works Manager. Curious if the workflow in TBC will change.
Good question. So yes, in Business Center, we're working on, and that's the work that's going on this quarter, is we'll call it Works Manager integration, where you could be inside Works Manager and just publish the design directly to the machine from Business Center. So yeah, that is in the works. Good to hear from you, Jeff.
Awesome. Well, he's got a follow-up question and puts it pretty bluntly. Will Works Manager replace TCC?
Yes. We are in the process of moving away from Trimble Connected Community, but it is we're taking it slowly. We're not doing a hard cutoff, so you can use TCC side by side with Works Manager for a period of time. We haven't announced the date when we are going to stop using TCC, but if you want to send designs to your machines in 2020 over the internet, I recommend starting to get involved with Works Manager and start using Works Manager, because at some point in time next year, that will be the only way to get designs from the office to the field. We haven't made any announcements on when that's going to happen, but just to let people know, it's going to be a Q1, Q2 activity. So we came out early to make sure that people can get their account set up this year. Make sure they understand how to migrate projects over and get familiar with the system, with the anticipation that in 2020 we want everybody using this service and to peel off of using TCC. But we understand that a big change like this is disruptive to a company, so we want to make sure that people can be using the old system and the new system together and have a more pleasant transition from A to B over the time periods that we've got. So more information will come out on the transition and what our official dates are, but just know that yeah, we are in the works of getting off of Trimble Connected Community, our older platform, and moving on to this one. And this gives us a lot more flexibility, and we built this from the ground up, and integrated it with our products and that kind of stuff. So it's a much better platform for us to be on.
Brian, I would add to that you've been working real hard with the SciTechs on planning the migrations and doing the back-end work to make that as painless as necessary or as possible. So anyone that's curious about their transition and how that's all going to go down, you do want to make sure and talk to your local SciTech about it, because there's a lot of prep and work that's been done to that end. One of the next questions coming up, Brian, you may or may not be able to answer it yourself, but why is it that we can export an XML surface to the machine and not the data collector? Curious if you could import an XML surface to a data collector.
I guess probably the main reason is we just haven't done that work yet. I believe that the file flipper team has done a little bit in that area. We do have a story in our backlog to update the file formats to accept any of the new formats that are available to be converted. So it's, to be honest, it's just a matter of time for us to get all these other file formats supported. We focused on supporting the Trimble native formats that come from Business Center, the SVDs, SVLs, and those formats. But we will be making efforts and spending some time doing some work on being able to convert those other formats that people are asking for. So keep asking for the formats that you want supported, and we'll do our best to continue supporting those. We end up relying on some other teams within Trimble to help with that. So, it's important that we understand what's wanted so we can get those requests in, and then eventually get that technology supported in the web that will convert formats from one format to another, and then get them loaded onto the machines.
Okay, excellent. We got another, this is a good one. I'm sure a couple people might be wondering this, but Silvana's curious if they outsource their work to a third-party surveyor, is there a way to limit the access so that they don't compromise the confidentiality of the projects that contractor may not be on?
Yeah, so today we do not have a feature that lets that contractor only see or not be a member of the account, because if they're invited to a project, they end up becoming a member of the account, and they can see all of the projects that company is working on, and I can understand why that might not be desirable. We do have a feature in our backlog that's going to allow you to invite, say, a contractor to work on your project and not give them access to view or see any of the other projects that your company's working on. So I understand what that request is all about. We do not support it today, but it is something that we will be supporting as soon as we get some of the file or the user level permissions enhanced, and that's ongoing here this quarter. So I would expect that in the near future. That's definitely something that we're working towards.
Okay, excellent. And then a bit of a follow-on from that from Silvana, but our company is using SES 900. Is there any recommendation to upgrade to SiteWorks, or does it matter so much?
Yeah, we of course want the upgrade. I would say that if you get from the Works Manager standpoint, if you upgrade to SiteWorks, you're going to get the location and the more frequent reporting into the system and the status messaging. You'll be able to see what designs are being run on those devices. We don't have that ability with SES 900, just because it's an older software that is not being enhanced. All the efforts are going into the new SiteWorks product. So definitely recommend getting access or playing with some of those devices. It's night and day between a TSC3 and one of the TSC7's devices. They're really, really awesome to use. It's like just a mini computer in your hands. So definitely worth checking out. So I'd recommend the upgrade, but we do understand there's a lot of those SCS 900 devices out there, and we are supporting that workflow. So we can send designs and get data back from those devices. It's just not, doesn't have all the new bells and whistles in the web application.
Okay, good deal. Talking about syncing back and forth, Brian, we got a question here. As it pertains to syncing in SiteWorks, will work orders also be synced? Where will access to those field files be?
Yeah, so on Friday night, we will be releasing a feature that lets you download those files. So let me make this a little smaller. Where it's going to be is what you'll do is you'll select your device, and then there's a option here to select work orders or point files, depending on what your device is, and you'll be able to, I think it says view work orders. You'll select view work orders, and that'll pop up a screen that will let you select the work orders that you want to download. So that feature is just getting finished up. I saw a demo of it last night, and it looks good. So check back on Monday, and you'll be able to download those work orders from here, as well as the point files, the recorded point files that are coming from GCS 900 and Earthworks.
Awesome, and I think that is a big benefit about this product in general, is that you're steadily releasing new features, Brian. So just as a point of curiosity, about how often are you coming out or planning to come out with new stuff in this product?
Yeah, the way that we're building this is in a very agile way, which just means we're doing really small iterations and making really small changes in very quickly. We build for 2 weeks and release. So every 2 weeks, you're going to see an update. And our new release, we had been releasing midweek on Wednesday and Thursday. Now we're going to release Friday night or Saturday night. So it won't affect people as much. The window that we're going to do is where really only Hawaii and New Zealand would be affected at the time of release, and the releases are pretty painless. There's just a few minutes to update the website, and so we're going to be doing that like Friday night, Saturday night, so it's occurring Saturday and Sunday morning. So just be aware of that, and we'll probably end up putting a release schedule out, letting people know. And what's going to happen is after each release, when you log in the next time, we'll pop up a little update if you want to take a look at all the new features that were released. So I can tell you that what's coming next week is the map view, so you can see all your assets from your account pages and all your projects, and then you can download the point files. And then we've got some improved language support and a few other little things. But each sprint we get a few nice little big items that are worth playing with and being aware of.
Awesome. Just a couple more to squeeze in. We're getting towards the end. I see that, but any quick comments, Brian, on the archival features that you could share?
It is being designed. We've got a couple other things kind of pop up that may push that archival back. We do want to be able to let somebody publish a design and then select the older designs to be archived, meaning we want to take them off the machine, but we want to keep them as part of the project. And that way you can keep your machines a little cleaner and make sure that only the designs that people need are on the machines. And then we also want to be able to archive a complete design, meaning that you pull the design off every machine, but you still keep it as part of the project, that you could reactivate it. And when it gets reactivated, those designs would then go back out to the field. So the feature's been designed, and it's just kind of waiting in line to get built. But it is something that we are going to be offering. The other one that's kind of along that line is that we're working on the ability to send designs to specific machines. So not just to the project, but I could send it to a specific excavator. So that one's also in the works. Excellent.
Continuous delivery is a beautiful thing. We got 2 questions left. I'll answer one of them for you. Yes, Dale, the session will be made available for future viewing, so keep an eye out for that. And then Brian, very last question for you today. Does this support VCL?
Yes, it does support sending VCLs out. Trimble's not going to make a big announcement on VCLs until there's a little bit better support on the earthworks side. Do stay tuned, because we are going to make an announcement where VCLs are supported on earthworks and siteworks devices. That's in the works right now. And as soon as that's ready to go, we'll be shipping VCLs out to the machines that support VCL. There's a little bit of work that we still have to do around this, and the devices are still doing a little bit of cleanup work on their VCL support, but that is a desire for us to get to a common file with it being VCL that you can move between earthworks and siteworks devices without having to convert or flip or do any of these things that we've been discussing.
Excellent. Well, that brings us right to the top of the hour. Brian, great job. Everyone on the line, thanks for hanging in. We had good attendance, good engagement today. If you have any follow-up questions that we weren't able to get to, of course, reach out to your SciTechs first and foremost, but you can also track down Brian. You can track down myself. We're on the email. You can probably find us on LinkedIn too. So thank you, everyone, for your time today. Thank you, Brian, for a great presentation and product, and we will talk to everyone very soon.
Great, thanks, Ryan. Good
Cheers.
questions, guys. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks.